Hello everyone and welcome to another historic video. So today we'll be taking a look at Eldrazi deck in historic format. So the reason why I'm taking a look at Eldrazi today is because of a pretty cool tech that I've seen from the ladder. And apparently, a few days ago, Andre Strasky played this Eldrazi deck in the qualifier and went 7-0. So the tech here is this 2 copies of the Light Halfling main board and another copy in the sideboard. What's really cool about this tech is there's a lot of Sorin decks out there right now, which means there's going to be a lot of Fragment Reality. What that means is if they try to Fragment Reality to slow down our ramp against things like Mind Stone, and he'll be very surprised to see a Delighted Halfling come out, which is basically going to be our goal here. Not only is the Delighted Halfling pretty good card on turn 1, but in the future turns, if they do use a Fragment Reality, you're still going to be able to keep that ramp with the Halfling coming out, and especially in game 2 and 3 where they see an Eldrazi deck and they cut some removal spells like Fatal Push, and they'd be surprised to see a Halfling come down on turn 1. That's when you bring another copy of a Halfling into the main board game 2 and 3, which is going to be especially effective when they're not expecting it. Plus, the counterspell Unban means that the Halfling becomes a little bit better, letting you cast things like Ugin of the Storms without having it countered. And not to mention, in the sideboard, we also have 3 copies of Dismember to bring in against some matchups where that -5 matters, which is gonna be the Sorin deck. The Sorin deck has a Baelmerk, which gets cleanly answered by Dismember, and according to Strasky, this is supposed to be our 60-40 matchup in favor of us against the Sorin deck, which is immensely popular in the ladder. And another cool tech here is we have a copy of a Sanctum of Ugin, which pairs up very nicely with the Null Drifter, and that's going to be a way you can kind of force yourself to find our one of Emrakul, even a copy of a Devour of Destiny if you need that removal spell, or even post sideboard, you have a Sire of 7 Deaths you can bring against aggressive decks. And lastly, the only change that I made to the deck is to add a copy of Cavern of Souls with the addition of a counter spell and every blue deck having a bunch of Consigned to Memories. I don't know why there's not even a copy of a Cavern of Souls in the main board, especially when you're playing 4 copies of Sowing Microspawn. So I decided to add 1 copy in because there's really no downside to playing this since there's already 16 copies of Greenlands in the deck to cast our Utopia Sprawl and Delighted Halfling. So we'll see how this one goes. So I'm going to be hopping over to some History Class of 3 to show you guys what the deck does. So let's hop on over. Alrighty, let's give this a go. Fantastic hand. So there's some like small text here and there, which is kind of cool. Like Sanctum Ugin is kind of cool, right? Because you play Null Drifter. Loris. I think I'm gonna keep Malevolent Rumble here. Blue. So I feel like this is no, I didn't want to pay. I was about to say, so like this is an aura deck, right? So like whoever goes like super fast wins the game kind of deal. But you know, that's why I said we want to go fast. So we're not gonna pay and then play 2 Mind Stones there, but you know, slip of a finger. Alright, so we're gonna do this. This time around, I'm gonna pay. Like, for real. Boom. For Spirit Dancer. Oh wow, we won. Alright, opponent. Alrighty. Decline.
I am the master of
Insane.
I will
Insane.
knowledge.
Yeah. Okay, so this matchup is hard. This matchup is hard. We probably want like 2 Cups of Chalice. Maybe we want like the Light Halfling. Do we want Dismember? We might actually want some Dismember. And Sire of 7 Deaths. So Emrakul out. Copy of Destiny out. I think we want to keep the Ugin's Binding. Swing Mike will spawn out. 2 Mind Stones out. Actually, do we want Dismember? Maybe we don't. It is an early game interaction though. Like, maybe? Maybe? Okay, like a Null Drifter. And since we're bringing Sire of 7 Deaths, I guess maybe we can cut some like Devour of Destiny. Boom. Alright, so we see a Dismember. That's why we hop it in. That's why we hop it in. For interaction. Okay, opponent didn't play anything, so I'm just going to go ahead and play a Utopia Sprawl. Blue. They go into a Light Paw instantly. I think I do want to probably Dismember on, like, right now. Guess we're never gonna need, like, double blue, I think. We're just going to Dismember right now. Oh, you know what? I could have taken less damage. I didn't even think about that. Whoops. I should have went black. Yeah, I should have went black. Thinking about it. You know, speaking of requiring double blue, by the way. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? No! Why did I do that? Okay, they're gonna take away my Ugin's Binding here. Or maybe Kozak's Command. Yeah, I'm misplaying a little bit here and there. This looks like it's a protection spell, maybe. Could be. So I think I'm just going to Kozak's Command, for 4 here. And then scry 4. They might have a protection spell. They might. Oh, Spell Pierce. I didn't expect that. But they could have another Spell Pierce, huh? I guess in that case, we can play around the Spell Pierce. Scry and then exile. Yeah, we can play around the Spell Pierce like this. . Okay, we don't need any of these. Okay, Malevolent Rumble, very nice. Okay, so it does seem like they have a Spell Pierce. It does seem like they have a Spell Pierce. One, two, three, four, five. I'm just kind of wondering here whether it's better to play the Lighted Halfling and then Null Drifter as a blocker. So what can we get with the Sanctum of Bugin? It's just going to be Devour of Destiny, but we can't even play it. We don't even have a second colorless. I guess we can get a Sire of 7 Deaths, maybe? And we shock this in, so we have the Lighted Halfling as a blocker as well. Oh, we might be dead. Although their land base isn't very good to cast like more than one white spell. Alright. Ooh, Dismember. Well, here goes nothing. Boom. Kaya's Ghost Form. These are all 1-mana cards, right? Until all that glitters. Are we dead? Are we dead? We are. So they had us slip out the back. Okay. I mean, I think we just try to go again, honestly. I think that Dismember was actually pretty nice, all things considered. Yeah, let's just go again. Oh, right, Chalice, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so I think we want Ayabugan. And then do this. Chalice for 1. Boom. Or as a Nightmare. Well, kind of. They can still get rid of it. They can still get rid of it. Okay, we need to draw land. We do need to draw land here. Okay, they might actually take away the Null Drifter. Wow. Okay. It's a bit of a surprise. I'll just take the Yavimaya. Juggernaut, Peddler, or a deck, huh? Interesting. Interesting. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's actually just draw, thinking about it. I think it's probably just better to draw. Ooh. Maybe we just top deck Sire here and then Cosmos Command again, potentially. Seems like the reason why they played out the Core Spirit Dancer maybe because they want to bait out a removal spell. Like so. Okay, another Light Paw. I do think I need to kill the Light Paw here. Probably. So this time we don't need to draw right now, so I'll just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get rid of a Light Paw. We don't want to bounce it. I mean, I don't suppose we're gonna die with a Chalice up, so... Okay, there's that sheltered by the Ghost. There's that shelter by the Ghost. I don't think we're gonna die, but... I mean... It's an Aura deck, so... Another Juggernaut. They took away the Null Drifter. Devour of Destiny. Okay. I guess we just... I think we just get rid of a Core Spirit Dancer here. Don't think I want to bounce. Yeah, I'll decline. There's a shelter by the Ghost in there, so they could probably just... Really? Huh. Interesting. This is a hard matchup, I'm not gonna lie. Utopia Sprawl. I'll just play this. And pass. Yeah, this is a hard matchup. That's per Sentinel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think I'm gonna balance the Devourer. Okay. My turn. Put the Sire there. Balance it. And we're going to cast this and then get rid of Loris here. I mean, I guess these don't really do much at the moment. I mean, I guess they can get back a shelter by the Ghost, which is kind of annoying. I'll just leave that there. This matchup? Oh my god. I don't think you're supposed to beat an Ore deck with this deck. This matchup seems really hard. Pretty good hand. Pretty good hand. I like it. Null Drifter plus Ugin's Binding. I think you're supposed to go Mind Stone, right? Are you? So Mind Stone is ramping 1, Utopia Sprawl is also ramping 1. But playing the Utopia Sprawl leaves me with the potential Ugin's Binding on turn 2. We haven't even seen the Light Halfling come out. Okay, I'm actually very glad that we went for Utopia Sprawl. I think they're going to get rid of either the Ugin or Null Drifter. Ooh, the tag. The tag has arrived. The Light Halfling tag. Golgari. Can't be just Golgari, right? It has to be like at least Jund. I think I'm just going to take the damage. Oh, Death Shadow. And the Tarmogoyf. Wow. So I mean, because of Death Shadow, they can't really attack with the Cecile anymore. So bouncing the Tarmogoyf means that I'm only taking 5 damage a turn. Bouncing the Death Shadow means that I take 7 damage next turn. Very nice. That is beautiful, actually. So, if I play the if I kick the Myco spawn, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't actually play the Ugin unless I top deck. Okay, so I have to top deck a land to play it, so I think I'm just gonna kick it. We're gonna get rid of their pain land. And I think we're going to grab a Blast Zone. Since these are 1-mana cards. Oh, it does get rid of a Utopia Sprawl though. Because if I bounce, you know, the Ugin, that's bad, right? Really? Okay. So I guess we just Blast Zone then. Um, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay, so we have 7 mana, but I do have to sacrifice a spawn. So if they have a removal spell, then I can't play the Ugin here. I think I just let them attack here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think that's the play. Yeah, this is why I don't like Cecile with the shadow. And hence I kind of moved away from the idea. So I guess I mean, I can bounce here, but I feel like it's a waste. Yeah, I think it's a waste.
I see no insight is vital to success.
They might have like a removal spell. Oh, never mind. I thought they were gonna have some like removal spell. Ooh, that's actually not that great because I have a blast zone. Thinking about it. So they actually still have to attack the Ugin. Alright, looks like we won. Very cool deck opponents playing though. I like it quite a bit.
Focus, breathe, and
Yeah, it's just oh my god, if I bring Chalice, this is going to be insane. This is going to be insane.
insight is vital to success.
Absolutely wild. Alright. Okay, Chalice is Chalice is a card. So I think we want to bring another Delighted Halfling because they're gonna go down on removal spells, right? So Halfling comes in. We want a Chalice. Binding doesn't seem too bad, but I don't want to rely on it, and I'll just bring a 2 Sire of 7 Deaths. I'll cut Sowing Myco Spawn, Mind Stone, Devour of Destiny, and an Emrakul. I think that's it. Yeah, Emrakul hasn't been like too great, honestly. I can see myself maybe bringing Dismember for this matchup. But I think opponent's deck isn't fast enough for me to actually bring it. Yeah, I'm kind of liking the Halfling tech. Because like match 2 and 3, opponent like cuts removal spells, and then Halfling becomes infinitely better. And then in certain matchups where opponent's removal spells are a Fragment Reality, and then they get rid of things like Sowing Myco Spawn or Devour of Destiny, we can get like a Halfling out of it. Alright, a lot of ramping cards. Okay, I don't think they're gonna take away the Utopia Sprawl, honestly. It's probably... wow. I thought for sure they were gonna take away Malevolent Rumble. Malevolent Rumble. That's beautiful, actually. So, no reason not to do it now. Okay, I could grab a Devour of Destiny because I feel like we're ramping pretty hard here, maybe? Like, with just 2 more Malevolent Rumble here, we're kind of like set on being able to play the Devour of Destiny. Okay. That's a ramp card. I'll take the 4. Assassin's Trophy. Pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. Sowing Micro Spawn. They could have another Assassin's Trophy, that's the thing. I'll just go, Sowing Micro Spawn. I'll grab a Ugin's Lab. Hopefully they don't have another Assassin's Trophy. That'd be kind of sad. I'm gonna chump block this. One plays Death Shadow. I don't know what this last card is. Ugin? So we have 6 mana at the moment. Another Ugin. So even if they like Thoughtseize, we have you know, Ugin to play. So we have 7 mana even without the Eldrazi spawn coming out. Kinda sad that we didn't get Chalice this game. That would've been sick. So if this is a Assassin's Trophy, we might have to just take 9 here. So I think we take the damage. Because if it's Assassin's Trophy, we can still play Ugin. We take the damage. Otherwise, if I block, I don't have 7 mana. Alright. It's a surgical. Nice. Okay, we get rid of a Tarmogoyf, right? And we gain 3 life.
There is clarity at the center.
We can actually play this Malevolent Rumble. It's actually worth playing this because if we get a Chalice of Void, we can actually get rid of one of their creature. Nice. I mean, I guess this is more threatening at the moment.
My resources are yours.
All right, GG's opponent. Very cool deck. Very cool deck. All right. Ooh. Is this a keep? We do have a Devourer of Destiny. Like, what is the best card we can get with the Devourer of Destiny? A Utopia Sprawl, maybe? I'll keep it. Never mulligan, that's my motto. A forest into a halfling. So we do see a delighted halfling. If this is actually mono green, this is a very bad keep, by the way. Very bad keep. Also, this is one of our worst matchups. Mono green. It's a very bad matchup. Yeah, at least like they haven't like drawn like crazy stuff yet, so pretty good for us. 2, 3, 4, 5. Man, we still don't have 7 mana next turn. It's actually really bad. Because I don't think I can block here. Even though they drew pretty badly, like, we also kind of drew bad. Okay, Ugin's binding, pretty good. Pretty good. This is possibly one of the greatest card versus opponent's deck. It is literally the best. So we're going to bounce you. And we take the, 4. And I think it's started. It is started. I'm gonna just do I want to exile the halfling or actually let's exile the scrap shooter.
Preparation yields success. My timeless insight is vital to success.
Because they can get rid of my Utopia Sprawl. And we just kind of take over the game from here, Okay. Mono green, very bad matchup. Very bad matchup. We're gonna want the Torp Orb. I think the halfling... I might actually want... I mean, Disruptor Flute for sure. I might actually want, like, Dismember in this matchup. Gets rid of, like, their Trailblazer and stuff like that. Maybe. Emrakul, definitely, we need that in this matchup. What do? I think we actually cut Mindstone. Because of Karn. And, like a copy of a Devour of Destiny. Okay, I'm gonna cut a copy of a Dismember. We'll try this out. Okay, that's a mulligan. That's a mulligan. That is a keep. That is a keep. Am I greedy? No, we can't actually... So what is a play? I'm playing the Halfling on turn 1. I'm probably gonna Ugin's Lab the Null Drifter. And then we have a Cossacks Command online. Maybe I get rid of a Rumble. Birds of Paradise. The opponent's ramping pretty hard. Disruptor Flute. Okay. So we can go either Kozak's Command or Disruptor Flute here. Opponent's looking at my Null Drifter. What if I call Nykthos with the Disruptor Flute? They might actually go double Trailblazer then. Okay, we're gonna call Karn.
Our actions determine the course of history.
Yeah, we got a Dismember as well.
I do not intend to.
That's pretty good. Holukranos. So exile. How much mana do we have? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sowing Michael Spawn. And another Disruptor Flute. We're gonna grab a Sowing Michael Spawn here. Because we want to get rid of their Nykthos. It was a Rona. It was a Rona. Right, so we're gonna, we're gonna do a little bit of exiling their Nykthos here. And we're gonna grab, I think, their Ugin's Lab. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, mistakes were made. I shouldn't have grabbed the Ugin's Lab. I should have done the math. This is as a sorcery, right? Does it transform? Is there a stack, by the way? There should be a stack, right? Well, we'll find out. Yes, there is a stack. Oh my god. Supposed to be our bad matchup, but I actually really like the Dismember tech in the sideboard. Alright, another day, another 4-1. We have literally gone 4-1 for the past like 3 days. Lost one energy, which kind of makes sense. Apparently, according to Andre Strasky, the Eldrazi matchup is against an energy deck is like 60 and 40 in favor of energy. But I don't know. In my opinion, I think the matchup isn't that bad, because like if you just ramp into Ugin fast enough, like you just kind of win the game, and you have like Ugin's Binding, things like that. Maybe I just got unlucky, and you can kind of see it because every time Ugin Eye of Storms came out against the energy matchup, we won the game, but when it didn't, we lost the game. It does also kind of depend on whether or not they can transform the Ajani fast enough. Both of the games that I've lost was my opponent transforming the Ajani. I mean, the deck was good. I actually expected a little bit more counterspell action from opponent, and a lot more fragment reality, because that's really what I signed up for with this deck, because the halfling tech, because there's so many Sorin decks out there, everybody's playing Fragment Reality, right? So, like, the fact that I didn't really get to show off the halfling too much, because, like, if you Fragment Reality, like, Sowing Myco Spawn, Devourer of Destiny, Null Drifter, you know, things like that. Even Mind Stone, right? You get a halfling out of it. So that's what the halfling tech is for. Plus, it's another way of, like, you know, kind of making the sideboarding a little bit harder in game 2 and 3, because against an Eldrazi deck, you're going to sideboard out removal spells, right? So the halfling just becomes a bit better, and like post sideboard, things like that. So I quite like this tech, honestly. And, you know, in some of the matches, I was actually very delighted to have the halfling on turn 1. You know, it's something to do on turn 1, so very good. The only change that I made to the deck is by having another copy of a Cavern of Souls. I think it's just correct to have a Cavern of Souls in the sideboard, especially with the Sowing Myco Spawn. Like, just one copy of, there's like very little, you know, investment to this. We have 16 green sources with the Utopia Sprawls, so like having, like, you know, copy of a Cavern of Souls, pretty good. The Sanctum Mugen was actually pretty nice, honestly. There's some games I, you know, got back a Sowing Myco Spawn as a blocker, plus we ramped at the same time, you know, fetching an Ugin's Labyrinth, things like that. I think this card is very flexible, because you don't really need to sacrifice it. Also, I kind of like the sideboard a lot, too. The Torpor Orb actually was very good against Energy. If opponent just didn't have, like, 3 Ajanis back to back to back, the Ajani wouldn't have transformed, and we would have actually stabilized. So it kind of maybe looked like the Torpor Orb wasn't good, but trust me, the Torpor Orb is actually very, very good against an Energy deck. A Sire of 7 Deaths came in a little bit here and there, but this is like a very good card to bring in, like, against like mirror matchups. Pretty good against Sorin decks as well. Just a really threatening card. You're probably going to expect to bring a lot of Sire of 7 Deaths, like, post sideboard. Because a lot of the times, like, you're going to be cutting, like, some copies of Emrakul against faster decks, and even maybe like a copy of Ugin's Binding and Null Drifter. In certain matchups, you maybe want to cut, like, Devourer of Destiny, because you're bringing in, like, 2 more copies of a 7-mana card, so you might not need that, like, 2 more copies of Devourer of Destiny as a result. And we have a copy of a Bajukabog for the Sowing Myco Spawn against, like, things like Graveyard combo decks, like Shifting Woodland, things like that. So, I mean, you know, it's an Eldrazi deck. It's kind of broken in Historic format, but I wanted to test it out because, you know, the Light Halfling, thought the Light Halfling tech, plus some Dismembers in the sideboard, plus, you know, Sanctum Mugen looked pretty juicy, so I tested it out, and, you know, it's great. So yeah, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye.